Specialization is for insects is part of a really powerful quote by Robert Heinlein. I'll read it to you guys in a second. But in this video, we're going to talk about why the modern man has we have so much work cut out for us, and things are changing faster than they've ever done. Millions of people are losing their jobs. There's new technology, AI, automation, all this stuff is coming for us. And this is why it's very, very important to do what this quote says. And we're going to read it real quick. So he wrote this, I believe, in 1973, and it's true today as it was back then. So he says, a human being should be able to change a diaper, plan an invasion, butcher a hog, conn a ship, design a building, write a sonnet, balance accounts, build a wall, set a bone, comfort the dying, take orders, give orders, cooperate, act alone, solve equations, analyze a new problem, pitch manure, program a computer, cook a tasty meal, fight efficiently, die gallantly. Specialization is for insects. And I think this quote is so powerful because it's pretty much the opposite of what you see preached about in school by everyone you know and like the people, the powers that be, right? So we'll talk a little about specialization. So to clarify, specialization is for insects is important because you see, like, most animals, most insects have one single job. You know, they do this. Ants move a leaf from one spot to the other, right? That's all they do. And as humans, we've typically been able to do this at many points throughout history. We've been able to have one single job for decades. Like, you know, my father worked had the same job for 43 years, right? Now, look around. Have you seen anyone that has had a job more than like 4 years? Now, people are moving back and forth. AI is coming out. Like, millions of people are losing their jobs. And this is why specialization is very dangerous. But there's kind of a dichotomy between this, because you see, like, the super rich guys, they'll like be sitting in their apartment on some podcast or something, and they'll say like, oh yeah, I don't cook, I don't do dishes, I don't even shop, I have a maid, servants that do everything for me. I don't want to do any of that, so I can just focus on making money. And this is true, right? Like, if you look at anything, you have to be very fucking good at something to make a lot of money. You got to exploit essentially the market, because, you know, the world is a very efficient place. You got to be very good. You got to beat millions of people at a certain thing. And to be doing that, you have to put a lot of time and effort into it. But as we've said, there's a dichotomy between specialization, because if one thing changes, your entire monopoly is ruined, right? If one small thing, if you lose your job, if this happens, if that happens, you become very dependent on one single thing. And I think, personally, this is a very dangerous place to be in. And I personally don't really have the desire to become a billionaire that's, you know, exploited one specific niche very well. I mean, that's cool. Also respect to people, those that do. But I would prefer to live off on the land, being able to do many of those things that the quote talks about. Build a house. We're looking right now, building a house, getting some more equipment. I'm walking around. This is just a random park where they're doing some excavating, but I just love seeing all the machinery and the tools. They can just do awesome things. And that's like part of what we do. I run multiple different businesses, and I've kind of like learned this about myself. I do way too many things to specialize. So we have like a roof and gutter business. I have an online business. We also sell products like chemical, if you guys want to clean your roofs and such. And those are just a few, the ones off the top of my head. And I've started many other ones. And as a man too, it's just like, I see people, you know, think about what we're told when we grow up. You know, what do you want to be when you grow up? It's like, you have to choose one single thing. And I was speaking with one of the people on the last video. He commented that, you know, true, like, one job for your life is a trap. And he mentioned that he's an electrician. He also chops wood and splits rocks or something, which that's awesome. So appreciate that comment, because it kind of outlines what we're talking about today. And that's why in my life, specifically recently, I've become kind of dedicated to this idea of achieving, call it 85 to 90% skill level at anything that I choose. The most recent thing has been golf. Before that, it was running. I ran a marathon, was able to run a marathon, very little training. And I believe that a man should be able to do all these things. And the second you find yourself in life where you're just doing one thing, or you're not learning to do enough things. You see other guys just wasting fucking hours and hours playing video games, and they're not preparing for this future which is inevitably coming. Like, if you don't know how to do any of those things on the list, and that's just a random list, you know, he wrote that many years ago, and it's still true today. But I would expand that list. And if you're not working every single day on becoming better, and not just what you do, but looking around, seeing what new technologies are coming, and especially learning how to use AI, automations, all this sort of stuff. So that is today's video. Think long and hard, read that quote. Think about your life. What do you want it to be? How can you get there? And how can you avoid, potentially losing your job, losing your industry from one single change? So it's all about becoming a more well-rounded man. And that is pretty much today's video. So see you guys in the next video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, if you want to join my group, down below we have a lifetime access deal. Also, if you have a home service business or really any type of business and you want high level / software for your business, that's also down below. So see you guys there. Peace.
Thanks for tuning in to the Spencer Clay Show. That's all for now. See you in the next episode. Peace.